Well, for the second time in a week, we are getting reports from a prestigious law school considering a delay in exams because students are just too traumatized to study. What has them so upset? We'll let Trace Gallagher pick up that part of the story from our West Coast newsroom. Trace?
Megan, in letters to Harvard administrators, students wrote about how traumatized they are by the grand jury decisions in Ferguson and New York. One letter said, quoting, "This is more than a personal emergency. This is a national emergency." And then there was this quote, "Your silence is a signal that Harvard Law School is indifferent to the welfare of many of its students. We can't breathe." But Harvard Law School is not indifferent. Instead, it's apparently accommodating students, telling us, quote, "Our staff is available to consider all such requests, and more importantly, to provide students with the support they need." Harvard has long had a policy of allowing exams to be rescheduled for things like religious holidays, medical emergencies, or a death in the family. This might be the first postponement because of a grand jury decision. Of course, Georgetown and Columbia law schools are also allowing students to reschedule, but not everyone's on board with these emotionally driven decisions. A George Mason Law School professor says the schools have, quote, "chosen to infantilize them," suggesting that adult law students can't handle hearing about perceived injustices in the world. And our resident legal expert had this real-world advice. Watch.
Because that's how life works. If you're upset about anything, the judges look at you and they say, "Okay, little cupcake, you just tell me when you're ready to stand up and argue."
Some students also say that taking part in local protests has limited the time they have to prepare for exams, and experts argue that students who took their exams and didn't do well might also make the case that they could use a do-over.
Do you get the irony that it is an injustice in a courtroom that has caused these future lawyers to be unable to function and perform their duties? Who will hire these people? You know, having had a couple days thinking over, I'm reversing my view on it. You know, my view now is I only wish my 3 children were older, and I wish that they were at competing law schools, and I wish that they could go up against these people when they get out into the real world. They're going to kick some... Yeah. I just said, like, something bad will happen, and then they'll continue to do their work. They'll have that inside advantage. Okay. Thanks, Trace.